Welcome to your deep dive. We've got a really fascinating mix for you today. Articles, news updates, even an open letter, all kind of giving us like this snapshot of what's happening in film and television right now. And let me tell you, things are getting pretty wild, literally, with those wildfires raging through LA.
Yeah, it really is a stark reminder
Yeah.
of how real-world events can have a direct impact on the industry. We're seeing these major productions having to like halt filming because of these fires.
Yeah.
Hacks, Grey's Anatomy, even Jimmy Kimmel Live, over 7,000 acres burned, more than 1,000 buildings destroyed, and sadly 5 fatalities reported. So this is a very serious situation.
Absolutely.
With consequences that reach far beyond just a few delayed shooting schedules.
Definitely puts things in perspective.
Yeah.
And speaking of challenges facing the industry, we have this open letter from Francine Jarvis, a well-respected TV producer in the UK. She's got credits like World War II Secrets from Above and Wheeler Dealers. And she's basically saying that UK television is in a commissioning drought, which essentially means that broadcasters are just hesitant to greenlight new shows.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
You know.
pretty serious.
Yeah, Jarvis paints a pretty bleak picture.
Right.
Shrinking budgets, tighter deadlines, and freelancers are being squeezed. And she argues that this, stifles creativity, and it makes it incredibly difficult for producers to do their best work. But what I find interesting is she sees a potential solution in embracing digital platforms.
That's a great point, especially when you consider what's happening with AI.
Right.
The capabilities of tools like OpenAI Sora, they're mind-blowing. Imagine creating these like high-quality visuals and animation at a fraction of the cost.
Yeah.
This could be a game changer for independent filmmakers.
Yeah.
But I am curious about the potential downsides.
Yeah. There are definitely concerns. Some people worry about AI replacing human jobs, stealing intellectual property, or essentially making those creative roles obsolete.
Right.
So it's a legitimate fear, but it also ties back to Jarvis's point about those digital platforms. Look at YouTube. It's become a powerhouse, often outpacing traditional broadcasters, in part because it embraced that user-generated content and new ways of engaging audiences.
It seems like the whole concept of who owns content is shifting.
Yeah.
With, audience engagement becoming just as valuable, if not more so, than traditional IP ownership.
Yeah.
But enough about the potential doom and gloom. Let's talk about some of the exciting things that are happening globally.
Yeah, The Glassworker is a great example. It's Pakistan's first feature-length hand-drawn animated film. And it took over a decade to produce, and now it's generating some serious Oscar buzz. So this is a huge moment for Pakistani cinema, not to mention the fact that it's a multilingual film, which opens up that story to a much wider audience.
It really highlights the growing influence of global cinema. And speaking of international recognition, the European Film Awards, they're heading to Athens in 2027.
Yeah, this is a pretty big deal. Greece has been they've been actively building their film industry, and with its 40% tax rebate scheme for productions, it's becoming a very attractive location for filmmakers. Plus, Athens has this incredible cultural heritage. We're talking about the city that gave us Yorgos Lanthimos, the Stavros Niarchos Foundation Cultural Center. There's a real creative energy there.
And a 40% tax break is nothing to sneeze at either. I mean, it makes you wonder if we'll see more production shifting to countries with these kinds of incentives. But let's not forget, the success is happening closer to home. I mean, Endemol Shine North America they're absolutely killing it in the unscripted TV market.
They've got a string of hits: Extreme Makeover, Home Edition, The Summit, MasterChef, Lego Masters, Deal or No Deal Island. They seem to have a knack for understanding what audiences want, and now they're branching out into talent competitions with their new show, Star Academy, which suggests they're not afraid to adapt to the changing landscape.
Makes you wonder what their secret sauce is, right?
Right.
They clearly know how to create content that resonates. Speaking of adapting, The New Yorker is making a surprising impact with documentary shorts.
Yeah, their YouTube channel has over 1 million subscribers, and they're showcasing some really powerful stories. You've got Seat 31, which focuses on Montana activist Zooey Zephyr, and Public Defender, which follows the lives of public defenders in the Bronx. They're short, impactful, and they're reaching a whole new audience.
Yeah, I think David Remnick, the New Yorker's editor, summed it up perfectly when he said it's great storytelling no matter the form. And it makes you wonder if this resurgence of these short-form documentaries could lead to like more Oscar recognition for the format.
Yeah, it's definitely possible, especially with the reach that platforms like YouTube have. And speaking of classic stories finding new life, Disney Plus just ordered a pilot for a Holes TV series based on Louis Sachar's, beloved novel and that popular 2003 film.
Oh, I loved that book growing up. It'll be interesting to see how they adapt it for a new generation. And they've got some big names attached to the project, too. Walden Media, 20th Television, Drew Goddard, and Mike Medavoy. That's a powerhouse team.
And then we have Tom Holland starring in and producing The Partner, based on the John Grisham legal thriller, with Graham Moore, the Oscar-winning screenwriter of The Imitation Game, on board. This project has the potential to be huge. Grisham's novels have this history of successful film adaptations, like The Firm and The Pelican Brief. So this one just seems like a safe bet. It seems like the industry is it's always trying to find that balance,
Yeah.
between familiar stories and fresh perspectives. Speaking of fresh perspectives, I was really intrigued by the news about SAS Rogue Heroes Season 2. They filmed that intense water sequence at Warner Bros. Leavesden Studios, the same place they shot those underwater scenes for Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
Hell, that's pretty cool. It's amazing how those studios can, like, repurpose their resources and their expertise for completely different genres, like this hidden world of filmmaking magic that we rarely get to see.
Exactly. It's a reminder that there's so much happening behind the scenes, that we as viewers are often unaware of. Speaking of hidden gems, did you see anything about The Ice Cream Man?
The Oscar shortlisted short film.
Yeah.
Yeah. The story about a Jewish ice cream shop owner who fled Nazi Germany.
Right.
It sounds heartbreaking,
Yeah.
but also incredibly powerful.
It's one of those stories that reminds us of the human cost of history, right? Sometimes we get so caught up in these grand narratives that we forget about the individual lives that are impacted by these events.
Absolutely. It's a good reminder that even a short film can have a profound impact. And speaking of impactful stories, Francine Jarvis's open letter, it really struck a chord with me. She talks about how the current industry climate is kind of like pushing out these experienced professionals and rewarding those who are willing to work for less, often at the expense of quality.
It's a valid concern, yeah. If we're not careful, we risk losing a generation of talented filmmakers who can't afford to stay in the game. It's a tough balance between creating opportunities for new voices and ensuring that experience and expertise are valued.
And then you have the rise of AI tools like Sora, which could potentially make it easier than ever for anyone to create high-quality content. It's it's exciting to think about those possibilities, but also a little bit daunting, right?
Absolutely. AI has the potential to democratize filmmaking in a way we've never seen before. But there are also some serious questions that we need to consider. How do we protect intellectual property in an age of AI generated content? How do we ensure that human creativity isn't stifled by these algorithms?
Those are really important questions and ones that the industry is grappling with right now. Speaking of grappling with big questions, I heard that the new season of Mythic Quest on Apple TV Plus Home is all about the challenges of maintaining creativity in the face of success.
That's a theme that resonates, far beyond the world of game development. It's something that every artist, every creative person struggles with at some point. How do we stay true to our vision? When faced with these commercial pressures, how do we navigate the egos and expectations within a creative team?
It's a classic dilemma, and one that I'm sure we'll continue to see explored in film and television. And you have projects like Day of Reckoning, the new Western starring Billy Zane. It's the 25th film from ESX Entertainment, a production company that seems to have mastered the art of creating commercially successful, family-friendly content.
It's interesting to look at what makes a company like ESX so successful. They clearly understand their target audience, and they consistently deliver films that appeal to that demographic. There's a real art to creating entertainment that resonates with a specific audience without feeling formulaic or predictable.
They definitely seem to have found the sweet spot. And speaking of finding success within a specific genre, John Grisham, he continues to be a force in that in the legal thriller world. Tom Holland starring in The Partner. I mean, that's gonna be huge.
Grisham's novels have this timeless quality to them. They tap into our fascination with the legal system,
Yeah.
with power and corruption, and with ordinary people caught in extraordinary circumstances. So it's no wonder they continue to be adapted for the screen.
And it's not just American stories finding their way onto screens around the world. France TV distribution is launching these international sales for a TV movie called High Season. It's a lighthearted crime drama set in Biarritz, and it sounds like the perfect escape.
These international co-productions are they're becoming increasingly common, and it's great to see stories from different cultures reaching wider audiences. It's a reminder that that film and television have the power to break down barriers and connect people from all walks of life.
It's all about finding those shared human experiences, no matter where you come from. Speaking of connecting with audiences, there's a new tween educational series called Media Stamped that caught my eye. It's designed to help kids aged 9 to 12 critically analyze the media they consume.
That's such an important skill for young people to develop, especially in today's world where they're bombarded with messages from all sides. Being able to decipher what's real and what's not, to understand the motivations behind different types of media. I mean, that's essential.
It's like we're seeing a parallel evolution happening. The industry is changing, and so are the audiences. It's an exciting time to be a part of this world, but also a little bit scary.
Definitely. But the most successful creators will be the ones who are paying attention to both the changes in the industry and the evolving needs of their audience. It's about embracing new technologies, exploring global perspectives, and finding innovative ways to connect with people on a deeper level.
So as we wrap up part 2 of this deep dive, we're seeing these incredible success stories, the Glassworker, SAS, Rogue Heroes, the Ice Cream Man, but also these challenges that raise these big questions about the future of the industry.
Yeah, it is fascinating to see how all these different threads are kind of weaving together.
It really does feel like we're at this kind of crossroads, where those legacy studios, they're trying to figure out how to adapt to AI while traditional broadcasters are trying to keep up with platforms like YouTube.
Right, and amidst all of that, you have these enduring stories like John Grisham's novels, finding new life with actors like Tom Holland.
It's like the industry is just trying to hold on to what works while also embracing what's next.
Exactly. It's not a simple case of just old versus new. It's about finding that sweet spot where tradition and innovation can coexist and even enhance each other.
Yeah. Think about the New Yorker. They're using their long history of quality journalism to kind of elevate the documentary short format, or Endemol Shine, leveraging its unscripted expertise to launch a new talent competition.
It all comes down to adaptability. Those who are willing to experiment, to learn, and to take risks, they'll be the ones that shape the future of film and television.
It makes me wonder about the bigger picture here.
Yeah.
For you listening, could we be headed toward like a more democratized film industry with a combination of AI and these global production incentives?
That's a really thought-provoking question. Could we see a future where anyone with a great story and the right tools can create content that reaches a global audience? It's certainly a possibility, and one that has the potential to shake up the industry in some very interesting ways.
It's both exciting and a little bit daunting, right? We're seeing these incredible international successes like the Glassworker, while also confronting some harsh realities about the current industry climate, as Francine Jarvis so eloquently pointed out in her open letter.
It's a complex landscape, but if these sources tell us anything, it's that the future of film and television, it is brimming with possibility. The lines between traditional and digital, they're blurring. International collaborations are becoming more and more common, and these new voices are emerging from all corners of the globe.
That's what makes this all so fascinating. So there you have it, your deep dive into the world of film and television. Hopefully, we've sparked some new ideas and maybe even inspired you to check out some of the films, shows, and creators we've discussed today.
Remember, there's always more to discover. Stay curious, keep exploring, and we'll see you next time for another deep dive.